for one more lesson. So today I want to talk about what do all those symbols next to the chords mean. So for instance, C2 or C major 7 or C minor 7, Csus, what do those things mean? If you really want to know in-depth music theory-wise what they mean, make sure you check out my piano lessons on 2s and 7s and so on and so forth, all those chord variations. You can learn the theory behind it. Today I just want to go over actually how to play them. So for instance, let's start off. We're going to go through the cage system, the C's, the A's, the G's, the E's, and the D's. And we're going to go over a few of those different chords that you might see on a chord sheet and say, what do I do when it says C sus? Do I just play a C? So for instance, if it says C sus, what we're going to do is start off playing your C, that 1, 2, 3 chord that I went over in the caged lesson. And then what you're going to do is add your pinky 1 fret above where your middle is, and you can pick up the middle or leave it down. It doesn't really matter on guitar what's behind the fret that you're pressing down. It won't change anything, as you can see. And then what you're going to do is bar E1. So leave down the pointer finger that's on B1, and then you're going to bar all the way to E1. And so, again, don't play the low E. And that's a C sus. Some people might also play it without playing the high E and just play it like this. So a suspended chord takes the third, what's called the third of the chord, and brings it up to the fourth, suspending it up. And a lot of times there'll be a suspension and a release. All right. So that's C sus. It can also be used as F2. So if you see an F2 chord, you can actually play it the same way. And if you want, you can even wrap your thumb around and play that bass note F. All right, so that's C sus or F2. C2, there's 2 different ways that I play it. So you can, for C2, you can, if you want, you can keep that 1, 2, 3 C chord, and then add your pinky on 3rd fret B. Again, pointer finger, doesn't matter what you do. Right? So another way to play that would actually be to play the exact same frets, just with different fingers. So middle, pointer, and ring instead of ring, middle, pointer. That's my preferred way because it kind of fits in the key of G a little bit better. So you can kind of keep everything right there. Another way you can play it is with your pinky finger on E3. That even has more notes in common with the G chord, and a lot of times a C chord will be in the key of G. So you'll have to play them back to back quite often. And so basically you can leave these 2 down. That's the convenience of that. Next, C major 7. Just like, again, go back to that regular C chord in the cage system, and all you got to do is pick up your pointer finger. That is C major 7. All right, so now we're on to A. So those are the C variations. So A, let's go over A sus. So here's your A chord. All you got to do is slide that pinky up to 3rd fret B instead of 2nd fret B, and you have yourself an A sus. A2, lift that pinky up completely. All right. A minor 7, let's go over that. So A minor 7, go to your A minor, and lift up your ring finger. Another way to play A minor 7 would actually be to play the A minor and add your pinky to the regular A minor, add your pinky to E3. It's just a different way. And then you have A major 7, which is a little bit different here. You have your middle finger on D 2nd fret, pointer finger on G 1st fret, and then ring finger on B 2nd. That's A major 7. All right, so that does it for A. Let's move on to G. So here let's talk about slash chords for a second. So I'm going to show you G over B. So sometimes you'll see G slash B or D slash F sharp, for instance, on a chord sheet. What that means is actually you're just changing the bass note. So the note after the slash is the changed bass note. So for a piano player, let's say a G over B, they play a G chord in their right hand, and then in their left hand, they would play a B bass note instead of a G bass note. So for us, what we're going to do is play that G chord, and all we got to do is not play what is usually the root note or the bottom note of the chord, and then make the B, which is A second fret, the root note of the chord. So we're just not going to play low E at all. So we're changing the bottom note of the chord to the chord that's after the slash. So here's a G or a B. Okay, so since we're kind of in that same position, let's move on to G2. So G2, you'd be in that like G over B position, and then G2 would be actually G2, the second fret on the G, with your middle finger. That's G2. For G major 7, there's a few different ways to play it, but this is the most, my most common way of playing it, would be middle on the third as usual, ring on the third fret of the B as usual, and then instead of pinky on E3, you're going to put your pointer finger on E2. And what I do is I'm blocking that A string from being played with my middle finger. As always, you can look on my website, anthonylibruno.com/lessons, for more resources and different chord diagrams. And I'll probably have a few variations up there of this chord as well, different ways that you can play it. Lastly, let's go to Gsus. So this one you kind of have to switch around a little bit, keep that pinky on high E, but now your ring finger is going to be on low E, third fret. Again, just like with the major 7, block that A chord, or that A string with your ring finger, because we don't want that to get played. And then you're going to use your pointer finger on B1. So that's Gsus. Gsus. All right, let's move on to E. Oh, actually, one more on the G. I don't know if I mentioned this in the cage lesson or not, but you can play a regular G major without your ring finger as well. So we went over this way, but you can also leave that B string open. And if you want, you can even take your pinky off and put your ring finger where the pinky was for a G chord. Okay, that's another variation. So E, the only one we'll go over right now is E minor 7. So there's two ways to play it. Go to your E minor. I think we talked about in the cage lesson that this is the textbook way to play it with your second and third fingers on the second fret of A and D, but I like to play it pointer and middle. All right, so that leaves you open for your ring finger to play on B3, which would be your first way to play E minor 7. Second way would be to put that pinky on E3. Like I said before, this is really convenient in the key of G, because you have G, you got both fingers down there. You can do a C2 with both fingers down there. You can do E minor 7, both fingers down there. And what we'll move on to now is a D sus. I can leave both fingers there and move to a D chord. Right, here's a D, leave them both there. And there's a D sus. It's D, adding your pinky to E third fret. All right. Let's go to D over F sharp. So you play a D chord. All you got to do is wrap your thumb around and play E second fret for that low F sharp note in the bass. Right. Then we have D major 7. All you got to do is bar the last 3 strings. D minor 7. We have a D minor like this, right? All you got to do is bar the pointer finger on the last 2 strings. You have D minor 7. And then let me backtrack and go back to that D position for D major. Pick up your middle finger and you have a D2. As always, anthonylibruno.com/lessons. Check out those chord diagrams and practice, practice, practice. I'll see you next time. Thanks.